Welcome back, fellow scrubs. This is MarcDWyz. Your host of the GameDevScrubs. We're working on Packfighter EX today, and Packfighter EX is a free fan game. It is community based. It's not affiliated with Capcom or SNK. It is just that. So, hold on. Check to make sure I got enough disk space here before this thing blows up on me. Yeah, all right. 16 gigs. We're good. I record the live streams, and if the thing gets too overloaded, it blows up in my face. Let's see. I think everything's working today. It's a miracle. It's a Christmas miracle. Angel says first. Well, thank you. Angel Samboy. Yes, you are first. Absolutely. So yeah, we're gonna be working on when two attacks clash with each other. Hey Wendy, what's up? When two attacks clash with each other, they make a special spark and a lightning sound and all that good stuff. So I'd always had a placeholder asset in there now. So, oh, you like the guy in the background? Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy, right? Oh, I got a mouth full of ice. I'll put another bottle of water in the fridge, or the freezer in it. I got all icy and I crunched up the ice, but now every time I take a swig, I take a swig of ice. Okay, any long pauses? Hey, for that. DBGen13, thanks for the follow, man. Looks like I'm chilling and don't hit me. yeah, right. Come on, you also should know who that guy in the background is. Another one? Arlieth, thanks for the follow. Thank you guys so much. We just started and everything's just pouring in. Anyway, so when there's a clash here, you get that. Man, I don't hear the audio. Is it like, oh, it's set really well. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Let me pause that. Okay, bring it up, bring it back down, and then music. Okay, then, hey, there we go. Perfect theme. Oh, let's go. Anyway, so. When they clash, if I can get them to hit the same frame here, you'll see a special there. You see the special effect that happens. There, like that. I used to have a different setup that was easier to do, but I don't know what it is. It's hard because the Shoryukens are hard. They got that invulnerability on them, so it's really hard to get them to clash together. There we go. So yeah, that's the idea. The effect that's on there now is just a placeholder. So I want to make a for real one. Yeah, so any attacks of the same strength that collide will cause this effect. And so you can see that even with normals. Thank you all for the compliments. That means a lot to me. Oh wait, he's gonna just do this, right? Let's see. I was gonna say if I could play some actual footsies here. There it is. So see, it's the same thing. There's that big clash when two hit, and when two lights hit, it's like not as big, but we'll worry about that after. I think the important part is getting the big version. So when any heavies collide or any specials collide, it'll use the big version. And then if any and supers will probably use the same one as well. This is a community-based game. It's not part of Capcom or SNK or anything like that. We're not charging for it. It's free. So, I mean, realistically, if Capcom wants to shut down, they can shut down. And we have to comply. And that's just the reality of it. And, yeah, so far they're letting us live. I mean, they're pretty good with fan games. They usually don't do, they usually don't take fan games down. And, in fact, they've even encouraged them in the past, so hopefully we're okay there. Yeah, exactly. Capcom isn't known for the C&D. It's, not quite like a Nintendo. and funny enough, historically at least, for the most part, and maybe it's changed in recent years, Konami's not very trigger happy either. They're usually pretty chill with that. But yeah, it's totally up to them because they control the characters, right? So if they're like, no, you can't use characters, or whatever else they don't want you to use. But usually it's an all-in-one package. It's like, oh, using the music and the characters, well, you can't use any of it. And it's just the reality of it. But they're pretty chill. Capcom's a really cool company, so... Like, they even had the Street Fighter Cross Mega Man. They actually put that on their site. They actually, like, really published it. And that was a fan game. They got the Mega Man Builder, which is that Mega Man level builder. Like, that shit's... Like, they put a lot of work in that, and that's still around, so... I don't think we're going anywhere. And ditto with SNK. SNK doesn't seem to do anything. So, you know, whatever. I mean, if either of them says no, then no, and that's just the reality of it. I'm prepared for that, if that's the case. It would suck, but I think they're both cool enough that we don't have to worry about that. So, anyway, yeah, so the clashing effect, I want to, let's see. When I did the counter hit, I did that in 2 tiers, where both lights and heavies have the same effect, but I don't think that will work necessarily for this. I think the heavies and the special should have the same. Because you can see the when you do a special counter, it's got the big spark, and when you use the lights and the heavies, it doesn't have. Oh, I'm trying not to do the clash. I'm trying to just hit him when he's but see how it's bigger with the special attack? If I use Shoryuken, it's got the big spark, the big little white flash. But otherwise it's got the little flash. But I don't think the heavies and the lights should do the same clashing spark. It just feels like it should be heavier. Because a lot of times you're just fighting with you know, long-reaching normals. And that's what you're gonna get. It should be a big spark, because that will happen more often, right? So I think the heavies and the specials and the supers should probably use the same one. And then the lights can have a smaller version of it. Because they actually don't even clash for as long. I don't have any character programmed with lights here, but let's see. We've got human control here. Let's see. What is... Oh. There. Let's see if we can get a clash with just the jabs, right? Oh, this is tough. Actually, oh, no, that's not gonna work. I was say I could slow down time, but the keyboard won't be functional. There it is. You see how it's only a little bit, because they're just light attacks. It'll look really weird if they cause a big pause and a big crash. So I think that that the heavies should definitely have something bigger, because they're really putting their power into it, you know. So first things first, then we want to. Oh God, how do I want to do this? I could set the game at base resolution. I know this looks weird. Wait, hold on. I can, hold on. Let me do it this way. Do I have another character in development now? Iori's the next character in development. He's going to take this spot here. And, but since I'm doing a GGPO netcode, if I program him now, there's a lot of stuff I'm just going to have to reprogram on him. So it's a big waste of time to spend months on doing his stuff and then just have to spend another bunch of months to do it all over again. I already got my hands full redoing these guys. So, the net play's coming first and then Iori's next. And then other characters we got, you can see the silhouettes. You get Kyo, Mai, Chun-Li, and Guile. And I don't know what order they're going to be in, but Iori's definitely next. Let's see, we did what, Ken and Ryu? We could do 2 Ryus, probably be easier, but let's get a nice dark stage here. Is it just me? I do all the programming and decide how the characters are supposed to be designed and animated and stuff like that. But I do get help with the animations. I can do some animation, I just don't have a lot of time to do like every animation in the game. And music, I don't know nothing about music, so I got music help and a bunch of other stuff. The game actually has a credits screen in it. You can check it if you download it. And they'll tell you exactly who did what and who they are. Okay, so if I can get this pretty easy. Oh, you know what? Hold on, I gotta get closer. Oh wait, shoot. Hold on. I need to put frame info on, that way I can see the frames here. Hit. And then we want to buffer in forward, down, down, forward, punch. And see they did it on the same frame. Alright. Let me put the controller aside and we're just gonna watch. Crash. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start taking screenshots so I have an idea of what the size is supposed to be. Because if you look here, you notice that the pixels are not even. It's because I just scaled up another sprite and made it larger to use as the foundation for this. And we need to know how big that is, because I like the size of it. I think the size is nice. I just don't like what it actually looks like. Okay, and so then it does the flash, and then it does this. Oh, I'm sorry, I gotta take the screenshot in the small level, and that way we can animate it properly. Okay, and then we go ahead and then there's this frame. Now some of this I'm gonna wing and some of it I'm gonna be almost copying what we have here, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, and then this, it's actually a nice frame already. Yeah. I posted it on Twitter last week. I'm catching that meme wave, right? Okay, I think that's the last frame. Oh no, it's not. It's not. Here's the last frame. Okay. I'm definitely gonna change some of this. I can already tell. But that's alright. I think it's using the sprites from the Shin Shoryuken. So let's set it back to free aspect and scale it back down. He's just chilling. He's just chilling in the back, right? Yeah, that was funny. I used it to do a drawing test to see, you know, putting NPCs in backgrounds, trying to get the same style as the fighters, but with getting them in the proper scale and, you know, not being too big and getting the proper colors so that they fit in the background and they don't really like, you won't confuse a background character for foreground character because they don't have the same kind of coloring. And they're kind of washed out and darker and that kind of stuff. So I use it as a nice NPC test. I think it came out really good, actually. I'm pretty happy with how that was drawn. So I thought that was funny. Not appropriate weather for the stage, but yeah, not dressed for the weather in the stage, I should say. But hey, it is what it is. All right, so let's get some little animation going on here. So we're going to line these up. No, it's gotta go here. Yeah, okay. And you will see the HUD jumping up and down, but that's all right. I've got to make sure that they're all in the right spot here to animate it properly. Yeah, and oh, one more. One more. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so then you can see that's the effect that we have here. So that's the first thing, and this is gonna say screen cap. And what we're going to do is pull up the effect that I actually used to do this with. And then we'll sort of like smooth it out and modify it. Where is general effects? I believe it's the super activation. Where are you? That's the one from Gal Fighters. We ended up not using that one. That's the one from KOF. Where is it? Did I go buy it already? I probably went buy it. Oh, here it is. Oh, here it is. So this is that's the super activation, and then the full power super activation uses this one. I'm not too happy with the look of this. I might reanimate that at some point. Oh yeah, this is A-Sprite. We're using A-Sprite here. And then this is using Unity to build the game in. And those are the two major programs that I use. Yeah, let's save this too before we lose it. I guess I just start saving them here. So, heavy, or what's the clash? Clash, heavy, animation. I've been meaning to do this one for forever, and it bugs me that I haven't done it yet. I really like the way this thing looks. They actually used this a few times in Match of the Millennium for the Neo Geo Pocket. It's actually used for the, if I can find it here. Yeah, it's used for the alpha counters. They actually used this, and then they colored it a little different though. And then they made a dissipation frame, and they put lightning on it. I thought that was cool. I think that originally I wanted to do this for the clashes, but I felt that it was a little too overly dramatic looking. And also the fact that, you know, if we added alpha counters, that's the alpha counter effect. So I think that's going to stay that way. And then we'll just do an alteration here. But I like the idea of using this little frame too. So I think I'm going to be using a few different things here. So we'll start with, let's duplicate this frame, and we'll start with adding a new layer, and we'll just say FX. And actually I want one more layer. I'm gonna call it background. And all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make this black. Oh, this guy got the NES palette up here. Because we use that in the other project, in the other game we're making. It's not applicable here, but at least it's got pure black though, so that's fine. It works for me. Yeah, thank you. Common sense. Common sense 8. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. Okay, so I get the screen caps. And we'll put the new effect here. Now I've duplicated frame 1 because this sprite is not in the old version. In fact, what we can do, we can kind of shrink that down there. And then from there, we'll do this one. Now I'm just going to copy and paste it as it is now. We will come back and we will make this. We will make this the proper size. It's actually not increased very much. Now because of that, I'm actually curious if I should even bother reanimating it or rescaling it. It's so close to the original. We might just leave that. Well, let's see. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. That looks like it animates properly. Actually, should be over 1. Yeah, there we go. Like that. And I am going to have to open up here. In fact, I might just start closing in a little bit. And then background, just going to extend that black. Okay, and then from there, I think it would be alright to use this. And then that can just dissipate on its own. That's kind of like, it's just the particles are dissipating after the big flash. Thinking that's how it goes. Here, let's take a look. I'm kind of curious as to what part of the animation that is. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and hit it. Okay. Oh, it comes in. Oh, I see. And then it comes in and it makes that. Okay. Okay. I see. They reverse. They just used their own animation and played it in reverse. Okay. That's what that's about. This may or may not look alright, but we'll see. Oh no, where did I put it? Whoops. I closed something. There we go. Alright, we don't need Rio sheet right now. I don't think I'll be using this. Maybe, I don't know. I'll leave it. I'll leave it. We'll close that one though. I kind of feel like this might look cool. My only concern is that this frame gets dark. But we'll see. That might work out. And then we've got the shockwave here. So what I'd like to do in this frame is to add a shockwave. Oh, and I closed the other one. I'd like to see what this looks like if we just put this in wholesale. And this is going to be FX under because I want to keep the layers separate here. If we center this, actually I'll have to show it on top first to get the right centering here. Then we'll flip them. I don't know. That should... That looks alright. This actually might be really easy to do here. That's not quite right. Feels like it needs to go up one. Oh, it's not even. Okay, that's what's going on. It's actually not even. Well, I guess I'd rather have it go up than down. Yeah, so if you take off the screen and the background, you can see they're not really lined up too well. Well, that's better. That's better. Yeah, that works. That works. There we are. There we are. When does one know when to use a sprite sheet for animations or just create a GIF for an asset? Well, when you're drawing the animation, you want to use some sort of animation program. You want to test your animation. You want to know what it looks like. But when you save it, you want to use a sprite sheet for an asset. Now, you could save it as an animated GIF, and you could import that in Unity. Unity does allow it. A lot of engines do allow it, but it does waste space. So instead of... Oh, what's a good example here? What do we got? Counter hit spark, normal... Where's the other one? Is this a good example? Let's see. Yeah, this would be an alright example. Let me take out the flash. And the background. So here's what I mean. Oh, and let me take out the actual spark here. Hit effects. Okay. So this is my sprite sheet, right? This is my counter effect, and we layer those two sprites in the game to make it look right. So if you save this, we export that. I'm gonna say now we'll ignore empty. If you save this like it is, I'm gonna say test delete me so I don't keep that around. If you save it as an animated GIF or GIF, this is the amount of space that this animation would take. And if you had duplicate frames, they might come in as duplicates as well. But look at all the empty space you got here. It's because each frame is the same size, right? But if I find the right one here, it's white on white, so I don't know. Yeah, here. But look how much space I saved by making a sheet. I was able to cut all the big empty space around this one. And this one's still even smaller than the last one. Or you could have all this empty space. Now, there's two reasons you don't want the empty space. One, it does take up more memory to have this entire thing loaded in as opposed to this. They're obviously different sizes, but all that empty space still counts. It still exists there. It's still got pixel data. So that's wasted memory. But the other thing is if you cut your frames in a sprite sheet, they're going to be really compact, where you cut your sprites out, and the less invisible space around the sprite, the less it has to render too. So even though it's transparent and you can't see it, the computer still has to process that when it tries to render that image. When it tries to print that sprite to the screen, it's got to look through all the transparent pixels and be like, oh, that's transparent, we don't do that. Oh, that's transparent, we don't do that. Oh, that's transparent, we don't do that. And it's got to do that for as many as there is on there. So you want to cut out as much as possible. So I wouldn't recommend to just import the GIF and go. As a quick test, maybe, but not as a final asset because of those resource concerns. Right, yeah, it's a win-win. There's really no downside to it, other than it's a little more work, I guess, to put the sprite sheet together. But, you know, it's worth it. Okay, so what does this look like with the background on? Boom, boom. So what we're losing here, we're losing the bigger expansion of the circle. See how it ripples out farther? We're losing that expansion. So let's take a look at the sprites that actually produce that effect. The placeholder. How long have I been working on the project? Since November 2017? It's been a while. It's been a while, but it's not a full-time endeavor, so you can imagine it doesn't go particularly quick. This is the new version that we've been using. So, well, I'm not going to copy it wholesale. Let's see, where does this end up? Okay, so it ends up, it starts smaller, right? But we don't care. I think I'm going to go straight from there to there. Because if you look at this, this is almost, oh, I don't have my spot on here. Easier to see. This here is almost like a shockwave ring on its own, just the way that it's colored, right? And then you can go from here to here, and it sort of animates in that fashion. So the next step would be to expand this ring outward. And it only got as big as that, so what I can do here, actually going to get rid of that one. And it got this big, right? Let us draw a new circle. Whoop, that's big. We want to do 1 pixel size here. Roughly around here. Oh yeah, and hold shift. If you hold shift, you get a perfect circle. Oh, I don't like the way the circle looks. Guess that's the best one. Okay, and then we're gonna move this here, and we're gonna see how that looks animated. Put the onion skin on, that lets you see the previous frame and the next frame. You can set it so that it doesn't have to be both of them, but I generally like to see both of them. Okay, I'm just trying to see where if it looks even or not. It looks pretty even on that axis. There, and it's one away from there, and it's one away from there, right? Yeah. Okay, that works for me. I think that's pretty even. And then what I want to do is to do one more circle. 1 pixel. Trying to see how to line this up. Something like that. I want it to just be a little bigger. Not too much. Let's see, that's 2 and 3. I would need... Yeah, I want it to be 2 bigger on each side. Well, actually, that's 3 because that's 2 plus 1. But then that's 1 over here, so that's 4. So I need 4, and that'll be 4. Okay. And we'll just line this up, and then we're just gonna cut it up. Because this is gonna be the frame where it's gonna start to disperse, right? So. Well, let's see. This is gonna last for 2 frames. That's about 33 milliseconds. 33. This one could go 48 milliseconds. It's about 4 frames or 3 frames. Actually, you know what? Let me do 4. I was thinking 4 in my head. So do 64. 64, and then 112. There, look at that. Looks kind of cool. Yeah. I like the fact that like something remains here. I just don't like the brightness disparity from this frame to this frame, but it is what it is. I think it'll be okay. My problem with this is that I think it should linger something else in the next frame, perhaps. But I'm a little afraid to do that too. Well, we'll see. These actually can get moved to here, and I can layer them how I please. That'll work. Up. Yeah, there we go. Yep, that's about right. And left to right. Yeah, that looks. I don't know. Part of me likes it, part of me doesn't. Nah, I don't like it. I don't. Maybe if it's all darker on the inside. Something like that. Nah, I don't like it. Sticks out too much. So I think I'm just gonna get rid of it. And we'll see in game if it looks good or not. I think what could be a good way to handle after this is to have it fracture and break up into little bits. Kind of like how this does here. But just smaller, right? I don't know, could you even just take this and... I feel like it's going to be competing directions, though, of animation. I don't know, so just quick for poops and giggles. Oh, it's actually a different color, too. That's funny. The white's not quite the same. Let's get the color to the right color here. That's actually much better, but it doesn't quite fit the same look. I think it would have to be a little more broken up here and there. get rid of some of the double pixels. And the fact that, I don't know, I guess it should expand a little. Maybe I don't like it. Oh, not that. I'll just cut it for now. We can go back to it. The big thing is going to be chopping this part up here. So you see when this one breaks apart, see how it gets thin? There's only little dots left. Same thing here. So we want to basically start carving away aspects of the circle. You can say whole portions of it we want to go. And then we can refine it from there. And we'll say that's a big long stretch where it gets a lot, right? Actually, no, let's... something like that. And then we'll make two little divots here. So what you want to do with something like this is you want to smooth out the look here so that it looks more like it's following the circle. You can see with your eyes trying to make the circle work here. It really wants to follow that circle, but when you remove parts of it, it's harder for your eyes to follow that. So you have to take out some bits to make it just look more like a circle. See how that looks more like a circle shape, even though I removed some stuff, right? Same thing here. Those 2 pixels, we're working against the circle shape. Same here. You want to get rid of this one, that one. And you get rid of that one and that one. Get rid of these 2. You can put a break in between them too. It's fine. There's a little bit of artistic interpretation here. I want to keep that closed there. I'm going to get rid of that one. I'm going to cut that, make it a little more dotted. It's actually those 2. Yeah, those 2 were not gelling with the shape. And that's kind of just what you do here. And it starts to look cool. I would... oh, this is a tough one. I would put one there. That kind of gives you that circle shape. What I'm going to do is sort of break up a little bit here. So it's like a solid... no, that don't look right. It doesn't. I put a break there. Then chop those 2 out. Chop that one out. Maybe chop that one out. And do something like that. No, that one doesn't look right. It's gotta be farther out. Yeah. Now we're getting somewhere. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. And see how it starts to split apart. Make my own sound effects. One thing that bugs me is the way that it feels like there should be something here, actually. Yeah, and you know what I'm gonna do? Oh. I'm actually going to mirror this. Well, that's not quite how I wanted it. Is that right? No, it's off by 1. That's alright. It gives me a guideline at least. There. I'm just gonna mirror it. Because it feels like with this spike here, it feels like something should be remaining here. And so now we have that instead of a gap. Yeah, that's much better. Much better. Yeah, that's not bad. We're able to recycle a few frames and get a pretty decent looking thing going. I think at least. Looks good to me. So here's the best part. We don't need to actually save all these frames. Yeah, in fact, I'm going to save this one and this one, and we'll do a double layered sprite effect. So we'll be rendering two sprites, I guess. Yeah, because this frame, and this frame, that's all repeated. Now this one's a combination of two. Oh, there's two. So there's two ways we can do this. We either split it up into two different sprites, so that we can reuse the one of this that's already in there, and the combination of the two, or we just save this as one frame and just save 3 frames. I think I'm actually just going to save the 3 frames. That way I don't have to realign anything in-game. And that'll be fine. It is technically a different sprite. Okay, so save. Yeah, that looks cool. Well, on the other hand, though, what if I want to change the timing of this and this? Yeah, we're gonna do two. We're gonna do 2 sprites, just so I have more timing options here. Yeah, so we're just gonna save these last 2 frames, and that's easy. Export sprite sheet. Merge duplicates. Ignore empty. I'm gonna open the sprite sheet after. Flash heavy. FX. Yeah, and then export. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna delete the stuff we don't want. This is all already in there, so we just need these 2. And there's not much we can do to save space here. It's pretty much just is what it is. Let's get as close to the edge as possible. Make sure they're 2 pixels away from each other. Otherwise, you might start to get them bleeding into each other. There we are. Oop, that's too far. Yeah, and 1 away from the edge here. Okay, and we just saved that. We don't need that. We didn't end up using that. And we got that. Okay. We can go back to Unity now. And open up our effects folder. And close the fighter folder. Clash Shockwave. So I'm going to make Clash Shockwave new. You know what? I'm going to call it 2. Yeah. Then we will import that sprite sheet we just made. Where? There it is. Flash heavy. Same format we always use. Multiple pixels per unit 10, full rect. Do not generate a physics shape. No filter, and no quality reduction. Want it to be raw as raw can be. So if you have the pixel art and you do a reduction in quality, it doesn't look very good. Okay, they're even, 78 by 78, 82 by 82, so we do not have to do any sort of special calculation for center point. They are even. And now we want to make, let's see what's in here. Okay, I'm going to drag this in here. Class Shockwave 2, and we're just going to copy this object back into the other folder. We're going to say it's an original prefab. It's not based on the other one. And there's a couple things we want to do. Oh, there it is. We want to change this to Super Effects. Oh, really? It's not. Oh, super activation? Here. Let's see if we can see what these look like. Where is... There's a slider here somewhere that lets you see the thumbnails. I'm not seeing it. How come? Oh, I guess you can't do it while searching. Oh, you can't do it while searching. Oh, that's a bummer. Okay. There it is. So this is our first frame. We just want to make sure that's our first frame. We're going to select a different material because I want to make sure they're all on the same one. Oh no, we gotta restructure how this works. Okay, copy this. Also remove that because we're gonna make a new one. Flash Shockwave 2. Yeah. Alright, we have to make two sprites underneath. So, Spark. Oh, come on, right click. Paste as new. It also needs a flicker controller. So we'll copy that and paste that in. So I can remove the flicker controller here, and I'm going to remove the sprite renderer here. So again, we have to keep those in their own separate objects now. Everything else looks all right. Disable on reset. Yeah. Alright. Then we can copy this to Shockwave. So there's going to be Spark and Shockwave. And Shockwave is going to have nothing as its general frame, as it will start with none. I think that should do it for this. So now we start animating. Spark starts with this. I said 2 frames. Probably about right. And then it turns to this. And we'll give that 1, 2, 3, 4 frames. So you get 1, 2, 3. And we cut back 1 because it lasts for another frame here. Oh wait, no, hold on. We do want to go here, but actually we just want to turn it off. Because the shockwave's still going to be showing, right? So then you get 4 frames of visibility, and then it's out. And then at this point, this is where the shockwave comes in. Flash shockwave. What do we call that again? Clash heavy. Okay. There. Oh no, actually that's not the one that we want. We actually wanted this one first. Oh, but you see, yeah, you do see the problem probably here, where shockwave's got to be layer 99, not 100. Spark's 100. The shockwave's got to be behind it by 1. Oh, I animated it when I did that. Okay, hold on. We don't want to animate it. You can actually change the layer by animation, but you don't want to do that here. Okay, and this is none. Yeah, none to shockwave. And then we change this to flash heavy 0. That got 4 frames. 2, 3, 4. And then that, and that got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I guess. And that's the end of that. Looks a little slow, but maybe it'll be okay. And that gap's really killing me though. That gap don't look right. I feel like it's got to have little spots in between. Let's see. Up here. It's killing me. Could do that. So instead of just redoing the whole sheet, I'm going to simply open it back up. It's a very minor change. Where is it? It's up at top, right? C for Clash. There it is. I keep going by it over and over. And I'll just paste that frame in and line it up and boom. Save it. Now when you replace sprites or update sprites in Unity. Uh-oh. Explorer crashed. Oh, that's great. Oh, it came back. Came back. Alright. Well, like I've been saying, this computer is on its last legs, I think. Alright, we gotta back out of that. Gotta go back here. When you replace or update sprites, you want to do it through Windows Explorer. Otherwise, it'll try to re-import it as a new asset if you just drag it in. It'll just add a number on it. And now, there it is, it's updated. That's alright. It works. Looks a little better now. So yeah, that's it. We'll put it in place and see what happens. Might look cool, might not. I guess we'll find out. Okay, these are all prefab, so I think the pool settings are in here. Counter hit spark, grab guard. Yeah, so where is this thing? Trade hit. Yeah. Trade hit heavy. And where is that? Was in Shockwave Blue. I'm going to change it to just this. I'm just gonna make a new pool, object pool for here. Object pooling, object pool. Excuse me. Where's my object pool? What happened? Object pool. There it is. Okay. Clash, heavy, FX, pool. And we drag in the prefab we want. This is a system I made. This doesn't come with Unity. Well, we'll say that 2 can exist at one time. It'll expand it if it needs to. Then we go back here, and we're gonna set all of them to the new one. That should do it. All right. See what it looks like. Assuming I put it in the right spot. Oh, okay. It doesn't have quite the same flash as the other. We gotta figure out what we can do for that. Might be because the screen flash doesn't seem to be playing. It gets a little wonky in editor. Boom. Boom. Well, you don't even see... Oh, okay, that's why you don't even see the second frame. It gets covered by the other thing. Okay, it gets covered by a screen flash. So, what we need to do... I thought it looked strange. What we need to do is to go in and edit the animation. Yeah, so that everything here is extended. We can try 2 frames. I don't know if that's going to be too much. Alright, it looks a little better. We'll do the slowdown so we can see. Oop. Let me put frame info on. Bonk. Okay. Forward, down, down, forward. 2, 1. Yeah, it only shows for 1 frame, but that's alright. It flickers back out. Trying to think. I had one setup that was really easy to get the clash to show up. Yeah, it is cool, right? I think that clashes like that instead of just showing the double counter hit. Because they're rare, right? They're pretty rare and they're kind of special. So if something happens to clash, I think it should look cool. Oh geez, yeah, that works. I think it's a little slow. Yeah, it's got to be sped up a little. but it looks good, I think. So, let's see, from here. Let's reduce this to 3 frames. From 3 to 4. 3, 3, 4. Let's see. Still looks slow to me. Wow, do I really want to go any smaller? Or quicker? Maybe it just lingers too long? Man, I don't want to bring these down to 2 frames each. I don't know. Screw it. Guess we'll try 2 frames each. 2, 2, 3. Oh, actually, yeah. That works. Yeah, see, now you get like that just kind of energy off of it, just... Alright, I want to try this without all the slowdown that the editor brings, so I'm gonna actually make a build here. Oh, we weren't even in 64-bit mode. That might be part of the problem. That my computer is slowly dying. If I reboot it now, it may never turn back on. I just dread having to reinstall Windows and all that. It's a huge, huge pain. Okay, and then we'll build here. Takes a bit to build these. Takes a little. So how's the weather? And whenever I do a build for Patreon, it takes a little while to get these cranked out. Hey, there we are. Do 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 do. We'll just do the full screen here. Do 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 do. Game's got such a good theme. Alright. There's no help here, I just have to hit it manually. Oh, I should just picked Terry and Ken, it'd be easier to see. There it is. That looks pretty cool. Ah, let me switch to Terry. At least we get the full 60 frames here. Oh yeah, jeez, yeah, that works. Yeah, I think that works. So here's the thing, because of the priority system here, only equal powered attacks can clash. So if Terry kicks you in the face, but at the same time you hit him with a Shoryuken, the Shoryuken has a higher power than a normal kick, and it will actually override the kick. If they clash, the Shoryuken just wins and there is no clash. So it's only things of equal standing that can clash. So any 2 light attacks, any 2 normal small attacks. Yeah, so anything like that, then you get that clash. It's cool. And the advantage depends on, because it counts both attacks as having hit, so the advantage is always based on what attacks have clashed. There's no standard stun or anything. And you see that when Ken and Ryu clash, Ryu doesn't get knocked back because Ken's first hit with the Shoryuken does not launch the opponent. Keeps him standing. So it really depends on what you clash with. Yeah, so lights will get beat out by heavies. We don't have mediums in here, but we only got 4 buttons. But yeah, lights will get beat out by heavies, and heavies will get beat out by specials, and specials will be beat out by supers. So that's the priority way it works. Nope, that's not gonna work. You gotta get a Shoryu. Ah, you can get 2 there. It's hard though. That's not gonna go. That was way too low. Ah! Ah, that's hard. Ah! You do this too. Oh, I was gonna cancel that in the Shinryuken, but it didn't come out. Ah, it's tough. It's tough. You have to do a delayed super jump to get that. But then the next super jump Tatsu is tough. Ah, it's tough. It's tough. Oh. Oops. Ah, thumb slipped. Oh, I missed it. You gotta like double pump the Shoryuken to get the super to come out with it. There, like that. That won't go, but you can do this. It's fine. Yeah, you get the idea. But yeah, I think the clash works out pretty good. So the thing now is to get one that works for light attacks. Because right now, you've got light attacks that are going to look like fireworks are going off, and it's just going to look dumb because the light attacks just aren't that powerful. So yeah, back to A-Sprite then. I didn't even think you could do heavy Tatsu after EX Air Tatsu. I've been going into heavy DP and the max cancel. Yeah, that's the easier way to go. You can do the DP and the max cancel. Yeah, so here's the thing, there's a super jump cancel on hit. If you hit, as soon as you land, you can super jump. And then that lets you do the Tatsu after. That's the trick. I kind of just put it in there to test like super jump cancels, but it ended up being really cool, so I kept it. Yeah, it's sort of, I guess, like a hidden tech. I think what I'd like to do, we talked about this earlier between the development team, I'd like to make little icons so that when you look at the moves in the move list, that they'll kind of give you little hints of what capabilities are possible with this move. So like it could special cancel, or it has, like maybe it has armor, so it's got a little shield or a little suit of armor icon, or maybe a little jump icon to note that you can jump cancel it, you know, something like that. I think that would help people kind of discover these things, because yeah, if no one told you that you could super jump cancel off of that, how would you know? Now there's some, in the older games they didn't really tell you that stuff either, but I think it makes a lot of sense to inform the player of some things like that. Like after Chun-Li's super, and I don't know if it's both CVS2 and Third Strike do it, but I know Third Strike does. After she does her super, you can super jump cancel the last hit of the super, and then continue doing stuff. So you see that in tournament play all the time. Okay, so what do we do with this? We want to reduce the size. And of course, me being dumb, I think I replaced even the white one with this, so you know what we could do? Save this. Oh no. Hold on. Guess we've got to drag it to here. We'll call this small. So here's what I'm going to do. Let's do prefab variant. I'm going to make a small variant. I'm going to say that it's 75% the size. And I'll assign that to the white one. And sure, it'll be scaled and it won't look proper, but we'll keep doing it and adjusting the scale and figure out how big this thing needs to be. And then we can go back into Sprite and shrink down the graphics and clean it up and make a proper version of it. So trade hit light. Oh, we need to make a new tool for it here. Object pooling, so clash light effects pool. And we'll just take this variant, plop it in here, let it have two spawned just in case. Save it. Go to light, clash light. And we can just see what that looks like. Oh, alright, I'm gonna have to program one of these characters to do a light punch. EX, no, wait here. Fighters, not fight effects, fighters. Fightor. We'll do it on Ken, I guess. Okay. Gotta get rid of these cached hitbox things or it'll cause an error. That's my mistake. I just never fixed it. Where is fighter controller? Here it is, the training wake up command. So Ken light, standing light punch. Now Ken will do standing light punch. So we're gonna set Ken as the opponent. We'll choose Ryu as our character. And we'll just start jabbing until we get something. I'll try it on a day stage, yeah. Oh, there we go already. I actually quite like that scale. I think that works out okay. I will say that the spark might have to be a little larger for the impact to get sold, but it's not too terrible. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Oh, he got dizzied with it, so it didn't count. Ooh, big damage. Don't ever get caught in that trap. Oh, I screwed that up. Ooh, he did. This is not a modification, no. We will have net play, but this is not a mod. I programmed this from the ground up. It's not using any other game as a base for the programming. Oh, and he flipped out of it. I meant to do a Shoryuken there. From this side, from full screen, you can get a Shoryuken. Ah, that's not gonna... Yeah, thank you, thank you. Yeah, not a mod. Not a mod, it's not a port. People call it a port, people call it a mod. But yeah, I'm adding GGPO netplay to it. It's taking a while, but it's getting there. Anyway, we're testing clashes. So what I'm gonna do is alter the... Where is it here? Close Ryu. Yeah, GGPO. It's coming. It's a lot of work, but it's getting there. Hit spark. Where were we here? What? Oh yeah. Here's the variant. Yeah, I'm doing this myself. I get help with sprites and music and stuff, but I do all the programming and all the game design. I'm gonna say the spark's 1.5, but we'll leave the shockwave alone. Let's see what that looks like. And the pool, reinitialize the pool. I think that's too much. It's a little too big. So if we go 1.2, so 120%. Let's try that. Oh, that works. Yeah, I dig. I think that's appropriate. Yeah. I dig. I dig. Come on. Yeah, it's hard to time. Yeah. Hey, who's that? Reessence? Is it Reessence? I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. And thank you for the follow. Oops. This one's hard. I want to see what the low and the high clash. There it is. Oh, Reese Nice. I'm sorry. You're right. It does say Reese Nice. It was all one word. So I wasn't. I just read it as one word. No capitals or anything. How was I supposed to know? Hey, pizza. What's up? But yeah, I think this works. So now what we need to do is do a little math. Everybody loves math, right? A little math. We got to look at this small variant, and we're going to say that, okay, it's 75% times 120% for the spark, and then the other shockwave's just 75%. So, calculator, 0.75 times 1.2 is a final of 90%. And then this one's just going to be 75 because it's 0.75 times 1 is 0.75 times anything times 1, and you get the same thing. You're thinking of making an updated version or a rework of an N64 fighting game that nobody knows about. You're talking about Clay Fighter? What's the other one? There was KI Gold, there was Clay Fighter. Shoot, there was another one. There was another crappy one, wasn't there? I can't remember what it is now, but I think there was another one. Tobal. Tobal? Is that what it's called? Fighters? Oh, no, there's more than that? Okay, hold on. Wait, what are these? Google. Alright, let's go to YouTube. It's diversion time, kids! Let's go to you. Okay. Tobal, N64. I want to see what all these are. Mace? Okay, right, there is Mace. What is this? What? I've never seen this game. What is this? Tobal. Oh, wait, that's on PS1. That's not N64. Mason War Gods. Shoot, that's right. That's not N64. I did a search for N64. Flying Dragon. Oh, there's that Flying Dragon one. Forgot about that one. Oh, it's just a select screen. Flying. Damn, there's way more on the N64 than I figured. Let's see. Here we are. Flying Dragon on N64. It looks pretty good. I mean, graphically for the N64. I will win this match. Let's fight. Okay. Look at that fat bastard sitting there. What are you talking about? I won't be defeated. Yeah. Sure. Oh, he's a sumo. Okay. I mean, it just based on looks, like it doesn't look terrible. I'm sure it plays like ass, but it's it doesn't look terrible. No, I heard you. I'm looking at all of them. Hold on, it's diversion time. And then Mace. Oh, we got a link. Hold on. We got a link. What's this link? Okay, this is the one that he's actually doing. Okay, hold on. Skip the ad. Okay, now we can come over. Oh, it's the one that's with the hand-drawn graphics. That's right, I remember this now. Okay, this is the one that he actually wants to remake. I remember this one now. Can't you draw your own fighter or something too? It's kind of like shit. What's that? It's like Parappa the Rapper, but like a fighting game, like with like how it looks all like paper cut out and stuff. Yeah, it's definitely unique. Actually, it reminds me a lot of that one fighting game that you can play in the browser that everybody was chiming on about for a week. What was it? It's that one with the little simple graphics. And you had like 3 or 4 characters. Yeah, I don't know. This wouldn't be my kind of game, but I can see why someone would want to remake this though. It looks like I don't know, it's like the animation's good. It's simple, but it's like good. It's well done. But yeah, I don't usually gravitate toward games that look like this though. Yeah, there are a lot of fighters on PS1. I'm not going through all those. Oh well, back to work. But we said this was 90% on the Spark. How are we gonna do this? Can I just copy this and go to a new... Oh yeah, I can. Well, that makes it easy. Okay, and then so we'll just reduce this to 90%. Sprite size? Yeah, I guess. 90. We looked at it. We looked at Rakuga Kids. Or is chat app being weird and sending double messages again? We already looked at it. Okay, and we'll just clean these up. Should be a simple job here. So I'm going to save this as liked. Yeah, let's keep the original. I'm gonna say FX small. We'll keep the original one there so that we can see the size of it. Yeah. Okay, it looks like it's lined up alright. Okay, and then FX under small. Nope, keep hitting. Instant replay off, that's fine. I wish that thing would just go away. Okay, we'll close this one. And we want to take these 3 frames. Yeah. And these sprite size, we said they were 75%. There we go. And these ones look way uglier, but they'll actually be easier to fix up, I think. Okay, and then we're gonna grab all 3 of these and we're gonna put them right in the middle. They might not be 100% jiving with their placement here, but we'll fix that if it doesn't. The game has bad controls in the N64 version, but I can do better than Konami with the Unreal 2D fighting or when the Unreal 2D fighting engine is released. Yeah, I guess. I mean, at that point, you're not making your own controls. You're using whatever they got, but yeah. Okay. I think this looks lined up relatively alright. We're making a sprite effect for when 2 attacks clash. So we got the big one, and now we need the small one. I made a scaled version to test, so that effect. I made a scaled version to test, but you know, it's only a scaled sprite. It looks crappy. We gotta clean it up. So I scaled down the graphics to what I need them to be, and now we just need to make it work. Yeah, so see how when you shrink it, it actually breaks it apart a little bit? We're gonna actually form that back into a solid circle. And then this one is almost, you can just kind of leave it almost, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay. This is the light. All right, now that I have the alignment, I do not need the non-small ones anymore. So we're going to delete those, and we don't need the word small to differentiate them anymore. Okay. Well, actually I say that, but you know what we could do? Well, let me renege on that. Let me renege on that. We'll bring it back. What I want to do okay. Will that pull everything? Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want. And then the small ones can go more over here. Then we can see them side by side, see? Yeah, okay. We'll group the big with the big and the small with the small. That'd be easier. I'll do the circles first. That'll be the easiest to clean up here. So the main thing about this circle was that the outside was a single solid shape. And then it had the inner bit. So see here. what I'm going to do is redo the circle with this color. Oh, is that gonna be right? Yeah, we'll have to see. Is this even or not? That's what we need to know. Is it even? Is not even. So we want to do one higher than those. Or one larger. And that should be 42, 42. Oh yeah, okay. That should make sense. Oh, I did. 42 wide and 42 tall. Okay, we can work with that. And that what I'll do... Oop, that's not what I want. Oh, I did it on the wrong layer. That's why. Uh-oh. Hold on. How do I remove from here? Oh, not that. Alt-Shift? No. Alright, whatever. We're just gonna do it this way. Not that much to cut out. Okay, and then we're gonna put it on the lower level here. Perfect. Now what I'm gonna do is colored in blue, and then color this. Oh, that. There we are. Yes, drawing characters is a very long process. I wouldn't say that the anime characters and anime fighters are necessarily tougher to make or longer to make, although the process may be slightly different. What really makes or breaks how long it takes to draw them is, number one, how high of a resolution are you working with? You know, I guess the style that you're working with, and what's your frame count? You know, how smooth are the animations going to be? Not even just like smooth, but you know what I mean. But if the higher frame count, it's going to take longer to draw because you got to draw more frames and color more frames and all that stuff. Yeah, that's what's really going to take a long time. I'm going to erase here to make this the same as the one above and below. I'm going to remove that pixel. I think that pixel sticks out too much. There, and that's pretty good. That's not bad. This one should be simple. Let me do... No, that's fine. We can do it in this color. When it gets farther out, it's easier to just draw lines for yourself. Figure out where you need to go. And we'll do the same thing we did last time. We'll just pick, like, red. And that's good enough. Oh. Here. And we'll get it about right. And then we'll check to see what the size is. So that is... 59. Yeah, it's 59. So we've got to... Gotta go one bigger. So we did this last time, right? And so one more. Oh, is this. And this should be 60. Yep. And this should be 60. And it is. Okay. So what I'm going to do... Actually going to be a little bit of a pain here. I think I can do this. I think I can just, yeah, fill with the mask value, and then you can get that. Okay. And then it dissipates. Well, the problem we have here... Yeah, I think I'm actually going to undo that. I'm going to go under instead of over, so that the next frame looks correct. So that doesn't look right. So we're going to go under by 1. And that should be even. Yeah, that'd be 58 by 58. Yeah. Oh, now I can get rid of this and see that it properly expands now instead of staying the same. Oh, this. Okay, so this frame. Yeah, and there, seeing it just breaks apart. I'm sure that these are not lined up, but we'll figure it out. Yes, well, a good fighting game will take years to make, provided, you know, don't have like 100 people to throw at it. I mean, you could make a good fighting game in under a year with experience and with a bunch of people working on it. So if you had like, I don't know. Now you'd have to have a lot of designers that really know their stuff, so they could simultaneously design and coordinate all the characters put together. And you'd need a lot of money. We'll put it that way. You need a lot of money because money gets you people and money gets you resources. I wouldn't recommend it. Not saying it's impossible, but I wouldn't recommend it. Okay, so we're going to take off the background. Gonna turn the onion skin on. And yeah, you can see right here already, they are not lined up to, no, we'll do them one at a time, that's fine. Might actually be too far. So what we can do, especially when they're small like this, you can just check. Yeah. Do they line up like that? Yes, they do. And same here? Yeah, same here. So that's a good alignment. And then this one is simply just realigning to that. Yeah, I think that's gonna work. So let's turn the black back on. Yeah. Yeah, that'll go. Look at that. Okay, now we gotta do these ones here. Well, that really is a block. So first, we're gonna trim off some stuff that I don't think needs to be here. Oh, we're on the wrong layer. Are we still on the wrong layer? How come we're not getting the right thing here? Okay, how about this? Am I locked onto something? What is going on? Why can't I edit this? There we go. I must have had a selection somewhere. So just like what we did with the circle, we're just going to actually eliminate some pixels to make sure the lines look a little bit straighter, right? That's good enough there. That's alright. You just kind of like want to imagine a line in your mind and see what does it look like. This one I actually want to move over here. I don't know if that was because of the Yeah, I think it got moved over because of the scaling. And the same thing for this, actually. Right? Yeah, we'll do that. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. This really isn't the hard stuff, though. This is just the effects. And most of these frames are already done for me anyway. I'm just touching them up in places that need to be. The real animation is like what we did with Terry's new move. And that new move, is that a new move? But it's a new animation that he didn't have in the pocket style before. I guess to clarify that. Let's do... Yeah, let's do that. What made me want, or what made you, spoken as the comment is, what made you want to make Pocket Fighter EX? Basically just, I like Capcom vs. SNK. That was a great game, especially the second one. And, I really like the Neo Geo Pocket Color and all the little fighting games that were on that are actually really good. And that's the ones that they're re-releasing on Switch right now. So they republished Gal Fighters and KOF R2, and somebody spotted the actual SNK versus Capcom from the Neo Geo Pocket Color on a ratings board, I think for Australia. So that's coming too. I'm psyched about that because that's one of my favorite games, and they're just really good games, and they look cool. I don't know, is this something about the little sprites that are charming? No, it's fine. If I'm streaming here, I'm obviously fielding questions, so don't feel bad about it. It's fine. Just fire away. That's why I'm here. I'll answer what I can, provided I have time to actually answer it. If you're like, step me through everything I need to do in order to make a game engine, I'll be kind of like, oh, we don't have time for that. That's a little bit much, but I'll be happy to answer what I can. I'm gonna actually move that over here. I think that doesn't look quite right, and we'll get rid of that pixel. And we'll get rid of that pixel. No, we're not going to get rid of that pixel. We're gonna move this pixel up. Get rid of that pixel. Whoa, I screwed that up. I'm gonna move that one out here. That makes more sense. Get rid of that pixel. It's kind of like tracing with my eyes. I'm tracing the lines to see if they look right. Like this one doesn't look right. Do that instead. You could also get rid of that pixel. Yeah, that makes it look more straight. Wouldn't have been completely necessary, but I like the way it looks with it gone. Move that one out here, then you've got that line. I don't like that one there. Or actually, take it back. I don't like it there because it was alone. Now I like it. Do that. I think we've come full circle now. Yeah. Okay. The inside here actually didn't change much. But I am going to round out a couple things here. Do that. There's always a chance when you do a project like this, or like what you want to do, that they can take it down. It's their intellectual property, and if they tell you to take it down, it goes down. That's just it. You can't play games with that. You have to go into it knowing that there's a distinct possibility that it will get shut down. If it gets shut down, then it's just the end of it. So just make sure you think about that before you go into it. And don't fool yourself into thinking that they'll be so impressed that they'll want to publish it, because that basically never happens. That's a super huge gamble. Yeah. Thinking about lines. I don't know. Nah, I can leave that one. That's fine. It gets too dark otherwise. Yeah. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Trying to see. So this is actually supposed to be part of this line. So I'm gonna do that. Kind of give it more structure. Well, it depends. Depending on how you've done it, swapping out characters for original ones in the case of a DMCA is usually possible, but you can also run into issues with that too. Kind of depends on how far the company wants to pursue it, because they could be like, well, you made this based off of our stuff, so that makes your stuff our stuff. You don't want that. You don't want to play that game. Copyright law is always going to be in the IP holder's favor. You don't want to screw with it. Yeah, well, if Capcom DMCA's this, then that's it. It's done. I'll respect it. I know exactly what I'm getting into. I, hope they don't. When they don't have a history of doing that kind of stuff, but if I get the letter, boom, that's it. It's done. You don't screw with that. I'm not here to tinkle on anybody's Cheerios. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna buck that kind of thing. If they want it gone, it's gone. Okay, that looks good. yeah, pretty much variant. But that's part of respecting, the original. Sometimes things like that just happen, and that's it. You just... Oh shoot, I'm on the wrong layer. Nope. Yeah, I'm really on the wrong layer. You just don't screw with that. There has to be, for something like this to exist, there has to be, respect paid. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't like that. That looks okay, maybe. Yeah, it's alright. It's alright. You got to think, without any of Capcom's efforts, then there would be nothing here to make. Oh, that's my time up thing usually. I don't care, we're going to overtime. I'm seeing this one through. Overtime! Oh, no, I don't like that. I like that. Oh, that actually is a dark pixel here in the original. Yeah, okay. Alright. Alright. I get you. I get you. Oop. And... Oop. Konami still makes games, sort of. They've really ramped down their production, but they're still in the business. Don't make a mistake about that. If anything, Konami's gonna fight for their stuff. They don't seem to have a history of taking down fan games, though. There's only very few things that they've ever taken down, and they typically go over the line. Okay, this looks alright. Boom. Yeah, alright, I like this. I like it. Save. Export. No, export. Sprite sheet. Clash. Light. Okay. And then we're just gonna do the old sprite sheet business. Well, yeah, I'm gonna separate this one into its own sprite, because we did that for the other one anyway. We want to use the same object structure if we're gonna make any changes to the timing between the two parts of the sprite, then we want these to be separate. Okay, so we can have this over here, is what I'm thinking. These shockwaves get pretty big, so probably gonna end up with it looking like that. I think I'm just gonna, let's see. Okay. Oh. Okay, 1, 2. That's alright. Could be a better way to do this, but I'm not seeing it in my immediate view here. Okay, so what I want to do with this, just to make it easier to line up, just choose 2 from the sides, and then we can take a look at where it borders. But this actually works out pretty well. Yeah, okay. And then the last one, whoops. The last one is the biggest. Wherever it is. Here, it's hard to see it. And we'll see what we can do with this. I like Charlie's theme. It's pretty cool. Oh, that's gonna be... Well, we can actually cut into each other's purview here. Yeah, only until that, because you gotta keep out of each other's rectangle area. But if there's nothing here, there's nothing here, and that's fine. So, that'll work. That'll be alright. One from here. One from here. Okay, make sure we're one away from all sides. There we go. Now we can save this. And import it. So I'm going to make a... we can just put it in the same folder. That's fine. We'll put it in the same folder. $10 pixels per unit. No filtering, no compression. And let's cut our sprites up. We'll do them in the order that we want to do them in the game. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll see if this works out. 6. Oh yeah, they're not even in each other's space. That's good. Okay. Oh, I forgot to check the sizes here. It's important. Okay, this is 42 by 28. That's fair enough there. Oh, you know what I should have done? Should have put an anchor. Okay, we're gonna do that quick. So an anchor is a way to show where the center of the sprite needs to be. So you would typically do something like this, and this is your anchor. Oh. Well, actually, let's do it on its own layer. One, two. Now this is evenly spaced, so you're not going to get one that's exactly in the middle, but it's close enough. And what we're going to do is we're going to export anchor test. Oh, it didn't pick it up. Why is that now? It didn't. Oh, you know what? You know what I did? I didn't make it for all frames. Oh, do it like this. Here. Like, okay. Now it's on all frames. You'll see it for the whole animation. So we're just going to re-export. There we go. And I'm just going to eyeball it and say it's here. The intersection left of this pixel aligned with that pixel. And we'll do bottom left orientation. So from here, yeah, it was basically right in here. Actually, it was left one. Then we'll check this one. Where is a sprite? Here's a sprite. Oh, that's an easy one. It's gonna be right in there. Yeah. Third frame. Where is a, you know what? A sprite's gonna go right next. On the taskbar, I was all the way on the other side. I was getting lost. Oh, this one's easy. It's on this line, and then right in the peak. Okay. So for this one, right here. I'm sorry, right here. No, it's this peak, bottom peak. So right there. This one doesn't need to change because it's just center. These ones are all fine. Except this one is 61 by 61. That is actually not right. And an easy way to fix that is to do that. It's actually because this part of the circle has been erased. And so is the bottom one. If you drew the circle, you would have to go down a little bit. So 62 by 62 is fine. 50 by 58. 42 by 42. And we're good. We don't need the rest of that. Okay, let's see. We want to do... Oh. We want to do a new object. Call it that. We're going to get rid of this other variant that we made because we no longer need it. And we're going to open this up and edit it. Oh, before, yeah, let's copy that pattern there before we go ahead and erase this. Okay, and this is going to be light. And we're just going to replace what we have here. With the small version. So this one. Flashlight. There. Flashlight 2. See how it got smaller? And then flashlight 3. Oh, I'm sorry. It should be 2. It's the third frame, but they start at 0, so that's what it is. Oh, that one does look off, doesn't it? Oh, we could fix that. We don't have to go back and change the anchor. What we can do is negative 0.1, and look at that. Make sure that these are not curves. These are constant. Both tangents constant. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Then shockwave doesn't show up until here. And here, flashlight 4, 3. Flashlight 4. And 5. And there you go. Looks good to me. Okay. Make sure this sticks. Sometimes that gets erased when you exchange them out and then create a new one like that. That's been showing up in other versions lately. Okay. We'll get rid of that. Oh yeah, the other thing I want to change is the initialized sprites were actually the bigger ones. And then the shockwave's done. Okay. Then we replace the object. Yeah, see now it's missing because we deleted it. And we put the light variant in. Or, well, it's not a variant, but put the light version in. And let's try it. See how she looks. There. There. Look at that. There's the timing. Oh. Okay, so then we'll check the bigger version. There. And so the big one's got the big shockwave. Ah! It's too fast. Ah, it's too fast. It's hard to time it. There it is. Looks cool. Ugh. There. Bonk. Okay. Then the last one to see is the Shoryuken. We'll do a special to special clash. Now it's going to be using the same one as the heavy attacks, but it should look alright. Yeah, that looks fine. Ah, there it is. It's hard to time, but yeah, I like it. Ah, it's hard. Trying to find setups for it, but it's not going to. I don't know if there's any attack that ends in 0 advantage. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I think it looks cool too. I think having little dramatic things like that when you end up, you know, clashing with an attack, I think that's important. I don't think that Street Fighter capitalizes on that kind of stuff as much as they should be. There's a lot of things they used to do as well, and they just don't do it anymore. And sure, it takes time to develop, you know, extra little touches, but I don't know. It's worth it, I think. They used to do stuff like this. They don't care to anymore. Yeah, okay. I like it. I think it's good. So, yeah. That task is done. One more thing down. See, since I'm working on the GGPO code off stream, it gives me time to do on stream touch-ups and stuff like this that had fallen through the cracks. So, game devs definitely be cutting corners or just not caring enough to add the little things. I'm not sure if that said they don't care. So there's a few reasons why things get left the way they are. Typically it's time constraints. Especially when you're working with a commercial project, you're like, oh, okay, we've got like 2 years or 2.5 years to do this. And we know there's going to be a delay, so we're going to really think it's going to take 3 years, right? But even with all the people that you have on it and all the work that you're doing, by the time you get to the end of that 3 years, you kind of ship what you got. And yeah, exactly. Time and budget usually gets things cut. And it's not so much cut, too. It could be that, you know, they made an effect and it worked as a placeholder and they just never got around to changing it. It's actually I wouldn't say it's a famous quote, but it's one of my favorite quotes from Keiji Inafune. Or not Keiji Inafune, I'm sorry. Koji Igarashi. Jeez. I'm thinking Mega Man and Castlevania. They're swirling in my head together, so sometimes the lines get crossed. But no, Koji Igarashi, who did the Castlevania Symphony of the Night and other exploration-based ones like Harmony of Dissonance and Aria Sorrow, etc., etc. He said, be careful what you put in as a placeholder because it may be what the game ships with. And his famous example was in Symphony of the Night. The menus that they had in that game, they look kind of like Final Fantasy menus, right? But they're just like a simple gradient in the windows with the borders and that kind of stuff. And that was supposed to be placeholder. They were actually supposed to draw some kind of like Gothic design to put in there. And it never happened. It just shipped like that. They didn't have time to go back and do it by the time everything was done. So, yeah, that's that's how sometimes it just happens. You're like, oh, everybody get used to it, and then they realize at the last second, oh, that's actually a placeholder. It's like, oh, it's too late now. You can't do anything. So, it is what it is. And sometimes your project gets people taken away from it to work on other projects, and things happen. So it's not necessarily that the devs themselves might be lazy or whatever. It's usually two things. One, this sounds bad. It sounds insulting, but it's absolutely true. Some of it's sometimes incompetence. They just don't know any better. They just don't know how to make it look better. They don't understand visual design language, or they don't understand visual user communication, or they can't think of a way to make something look more dramatic, more interesting, or whatever. And that just happens. Some people just don't have quite the same skills as others, and they get put in a position where they're leading on something, and it just comes out with whatever they know how to do with it. And then the other one is just they didn't have time, money, budget, whatever, corporate interference, general scheduling things. So it just is what it is. Let's see. Yeah, if a game gets re-released, chances are they don't add anything. They usually budget the team to port it, and they'll port the code over, and they'll port the assets and stuff, and then that's it. They usually don't add anything. It's very rare that you actually see enhanced ports. They're cool, but you don't usually see them. And the reason is because time and money and budget and schedule and whatever, it increases quite a lot to start adding new things as opposed to just porting something. Yeah. Let's see. Trying to catch up here. Like, the character name screen had more work put into it. What's for that? What game are we talking about? Something about an Android version. What got ported to Android? Oh, Symphony. Oh, yes. Yeah, the reason they had to do that is probably because the way that Android interfaces with the game is not going to work with an emulated version of the game. Like typing in the letters, like to put your name in and stuff, that would be completely incompatible with the way the original game was working. And make no mistake, it's an emulation. If they're gonna put it on Android or something, it's some sort of emulated version. Trying to think of what. Well, maybe. See, they ported the PSP version of Symphony of the Night to the PS4, right? I don't know if that's the same version as the one on Android. Yeah, the controls will never feel right because you're using a touchscreen and stuff. Yeah, it's not gonna be good. I don't know if the PSP version has modern code in it so that it can be ported natively or not. Because it's on PS4, it would suggest that it might actually be. I don't think they're emulating the PSP in order to get that to work. I could be wrong though. It's hard to tell. I don't have it, so I don't know. I've never played it personally to see if anything feels off. I do have the PSP version though. So there's that. That's the one that came with Cracklex Chronicles. And then, turn the thing on so we got something to look at. As I ramble on. Hey. There, flashy. So I don't know. I'm not really sure. I know the version of Rondo they've got on there has to be emulated. I doubt that they're going back and porting the PCE engine code base to the new thing, but I'm trying to think now. But is input lag? Yeah, it's probably emulated then. If there's a lot of input lag, that's usually a telltale sign of it being emulated. Yeah, so that's not good. No bueno. Yeah, it's probably emulated then. I hate that. Like the Castlevania Anniversary Collection, the input lag on that is awful. Especially on Super Castlevania 4, it was like unplayable. It was terrible. I was gonna use that to play it on Halloween on stream, and at the last minute I was trying it out because we played Kid Dracula. Oh, that game's so brutal. It's so awful. I was like, okay, we'll just play Super Castlevania 4 on it, and I like booted it up. And like, holy crap! Like this is unplayably laggy. This is terrible. I pulled the card off the shelf. I just turned the Super Nintendo on. I'm like, we're just playing it on this. I'm not playing it on the collection. It's really bad. Oh, it's such a sloppy, lazy collection too. It's terrible, and it's got like nothing in it. Oh well, that's Konami for you, right? That's what they've been reduced to. Oh well. But yeah, that's a telltale sign of emulation, because there's, when you emulate something, you have to emulate kind of like the hardware behavior. So the controller input needs to travel from, especially because it's Bluetooth too, it takes a little extra time. So from the Bluetooth, it's got to hit the Bluetooth receiver. It's got to wait for the program or the operating system to check with the Bluetooth receiver for the incoming data. Then it's got to transform it into input data. And then it's got to pass it along to the emulator program. And then the emulator program has to, again, pass it along to the game inside the emulation. And in each one of those things, it's got to check for these things. So you don't necessarily have an instant transmission from one part to another. There could be frame delays, and like the emulator's got to get to the next frame before the input can be shoved into it, and all that takes time. There's a lot of stuff. Yeah, abstraction layers. That's the technical term. Abstraction layers. Yeah. And yeah, it takes time going both ways. Things going in and out. So yeah, every level you have to step down is just one more thing that adds a little bit of lag to it. And you think of it like with video signals too, so it producing the frame of video, the emulator produces the core frame of the video, and then the emulator's got to pull that frame out, that rendered image, and it's got to redraw it to the screen, and then the Android app picks up the screen from the app and displays it on the display, and there's steps up and down the ladder between the layers. It's a lot. It's a lot to keep track of. That's why testing input delays very difficult in a lot of cases, because you don't know necessarily what layer is causing the delay. Sometimes, I mean, it could be your input code is wrong. It could be caching it and accidentally sending it to the next frame or something like that. It's really difficult to figure those kind of problems out, or to separate, okay, you have the time between the controller to the PS4 or the Android thing or whatever, but how about on the way out, when the PS4's got to render the image, send it through the HDMI cable, sends it to your monitor, who then has to receive and decode the image on a certain frequency, time frequency, and then try to display it on its screen with its processing as fast as possible. And that, unless you have special equipment, that's usually over 12 16 milliseconds, which is a frame. And that's actually pretty fast. And then you can get the 1 millisecond monitors, those are great, but they're not standard. So like when you get a big TV, and that's the other thing too, the bigger the screen, the slower it is, the more horsepower it needs to get up there fast, to get that image on there fast. So the big TVs usually have really bad input lag, and the smaller TVs not so much. Well, I've got a 1 millisecond monitor, although it's I guess the term is ghosting, so the image is kind of ghosty. It's kind of a low quality panel, but it's quick to render, and that's cool. Most computer monitors are actually about 5 millisecond delays, which is really good. But that's why if you see a computer monitor and a TV of the same size, for some reason the computer monitor is more expensive, and I never used to understand why. And the reason is because it needs more horsepower in that same size screen to get that screen to you within 5 milliseconds. Because if you do more than that, your mouse doesn't look right. It feels laggy and it feels weird, and I never understood that at first until I started hooking up the TV to the computer. Like when we started to get HDMI and I think the first one I had a component out, and I could push it to my TV, and I'm like, why is it all laggy? I don't understand. There's something wrong with the TV or whatever. It's just the TVs aren't built for that. They're built to play like a DVD, and it doesn't matter. They never thought about video games. They never thought about computer monitors, you know, them being used for that. Back in the days of the CRTs was completely different. The CRTs were instant. Like, they were almost like negative lag. They were so quick. It didn't matter. There was like the speed of light it was on the screen, because it was actually shooting like light beams onto this like screen filter, and that was like really quick. There was like no moving, there was no like mechanical moving parts. There was no digital. There's a moving part, but it was moved by magnets. It wasn't like gears or anything. But there was no like signal decoding and digital conversion and all this other stuff. It didn't care about that. It just, whatever the TV received, it just spit out on the screen. It just really didn't care. It just spit whatever it got. And it was quick, just boom, and it's on there. It's just no lag, like virtually no lag. So that's why that was all good. And then we got to digital displays, and then all the lag started happening. I actually thought I was bad at video games because of that, because of the input lag. I thought I lost all my gamer skill. I was like, wow, because you know, like this, the time that this happened, and some of you might not have even been alive, or at least old enough to play games or remember them. But the transition between CRT and the HD consoles that came with the new HD TVs, they designed them in a way that it kind of sort of masked the input lag a little bit. They designed the games to be slower and to be less reliant on timing and things like that. And so when you got the new console, you got the new TV, and you got the new game all at once, you didn't realize, you didn't notice that the old games have now changed on those new monitors. Because who was really playing the NES? You know, when the PS3 came out, or when the 360 came out, you know what I mean? I mean, I liked the NES and it was great, but I would play it on compilations, you know, or something like that. Or like Virtual Console or something, which has, unfortunately, those input lag issues. And so I didn't really notice so much by the time that we made that transition. So I wasn't pulling out the old NES, you know what I mean? So now when I pulled out the old NES after, and I hooked it up to the TV, and I'm like, yeah, let's play some old games. And I'm like, wow, I suck at these games. This is terrible. I'm doing so awful. I don't know what's wrong. And it comes to find out that it was the input lag the whole time. So once I realized it was the input lag, or that input lag might have been the issue, I hooked it up to like an old TV again, and I played it. I'm like, oh my god, I didn't even realize what the difference was. I didn't even know. I had a CRT when I first played Street Fighter 4, but I replayed it on PS5. It felt like I can't do shit. Yeah, exactly. Well, man, you're lucky if you've been playing Street Fighter 4 in CRT. Well, sort of lucky, I guess. It probably looked really weird, but yeah, you would get that instant feedback. But yeah, that's the problem, and the TVs themselves added like 3, 4, 5 frames of lag on top of whatever else the console was producing, and it's just it's no good, no good. So yeah, computer monitors are the way to go. Any computer monitor is going to be about 5 milliseconds of delay, and that's great. Like compared to TVs, like that's flying. That's great. You can find TVs that are like the big ones. I've seen like they're like 12 milliseconds, 16 milliseconds. Now keep in mind that 16.6 milliseconds is 1 frame. So if you get to 16 milliseconds, you'll have 1 frame of lag essentially. So anything like 16 milliseconds and faster is probably just as good. You probably won't even notice. But definitely the faster the better. Yeah, I didn't really understand either that for a long time about the CRTs just being better for the old games. And now that I've gone back and like I hooked the NES or Super Nintendo up to a CRT, and it's like, no, this makes sense. It actually looks way better because it was built for those displays. Like it wasn't built to be seen and as clean as we see them now. It was built to have those, like the aspect ratio is actually stretched a little bit and the colors are deeper. It's got higher contrast and the pixels aren't like square like they are in the computer. They're like a little oblong and they've got like bloom to them. It's like, it's a totally different look. And I've never seen an accurate representation of that on a digital display. It's just nothing quite like it. You'd probably have to go at least 4K. I would say you'd probably have to have an 8K monitor with like HDR and maybe some more advanced version of HDR to get the same look of a CRT using some kind of fancy shader filter. And it'd be way too much work to look as accurate as it does on an actual CRT. But the old games look beautiful in CRT. I don't know. I know that's the old man rambly thing to say, but it's absolutely true. And if you haven't seen it, if you've just seen a picture of it, you don't know what it really looks like. A photograph does not look the same as when you actually look at it. You just have to see it. But I don't know. That's my old man ramble. That's what I do. I just hook it up to CRT, screw it. You don't even need any fancy equipment. Just plug it right in. Composite video? Who cares? Plug it right in. It looks great. It's fine. The N64 is the worst example of this, where the N64 was built with the CRT specifically in mind so that it actually works with the CRT's display quirks in order to make the image look really good. The N64 and CRT looks really good. But then you take the N64 and you put it through a digital converter and you're like, oh my god, my eyes are bleeding. What is wrong? It's specifically designed to only be displayed on a CRT. The way that they made it work. And it's just, it's ridiculous. And you can modify your N64 to make it look better on digital displays, which is a lot of money. Hey, if you got the money to spend, it looks great. I would do it too if I had the money, but I don't. But yeah, that console absolutely was built for CRTs, and it looks like trash anywhere else. It's just awful. Yeah, well, that's the thing. There's a couple things holding the flat panels back from matching CRTs. One is the speed of the display, the fact that there's virtually no input lag. It just literally spits to the screen whatever it gets, just by the way it works. It'll be really hard for LCD to match that specifically, but as long as you can get to 1 millisecond, you're fine. Like it doesn't matter to get any closer than that, I think. There's probably no way that you could virtually even perceive that, difference in time. I would say even up to 16 milliseconds is fine. You get 1 frame of delay, it's not going to kill you. You probably wouldn't even know it was there unless I told you. So there's that. There's a response time is that. The other issue is, if you've never seen a CRT, the color depth and the brightness of a CRT are way higher than any LCD. It's actually shooting like light beams to your eyeballs. Like it's got literally inside the CRT is this thing called the electron gun. It's actually called the electron gun, and it literally fires light electron beam shit to the screen, and it like lights up when it hits the filter that's built into the screen. I don't know if it's, I've heard it was phosphorus or something. I don't know. You can look it up and find out more about it. But it's bright. It's super bright, and there's no backlight on it. Cameras and photos can't capture the brightness of CRT displays properly. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Number one, your phone can't even display as brightly as a CRT. There's no way it can capture and display the same thing anyway. But yeah, it just doesn't. It's so bright when it's bright, but the better part about it is it's black when it's black. So when the literal black is sent to the CRT, it doesn't fire the gun. It doesn't fire any electrons that don't hit the screen. So the screen's dark, black, solid black, pitch black, dark. And then the white or the bright parts are as bright as can be. And you have a huge, huge contrast between those two. The contrast values are insane. Like makes the color look so rich and deep and bright and vibrant and all that. Yeah, it's true black. Yeah, exactly. It's not the gray black that the LCDs do, because behind the LCDs is the backlight, and they're lit up and it's shining through, right? It's shining through the color filter. So you've got the light behind the entire screen, and that doesn't change. That's always on. And then the color filter in front of it. So the blacks look like they're illuminated. They look like they're glowing a little bit. They're that gray black. Yeah, that's why. Now the OLEDs screens, as far as I'm aware, when they're black, each individual pixel has a light in it, and so when it's black, it's off. If I understand that correctly, I don't have one, so I couldn't tell you how good it looks. Because they're expensive. They're super expensive, especially if you're going to get one with low input lag. But those, I think, actually turn off. So they're closer to a CRT than they would, but I don't think they're as bright. And that's where the HDR comes in, but I still don't think HDR is as bright as the CRT. Again, I've never seen one in person, so I can't really compare it, personally. But it makes a big difference. Like, you don't know until you see it. Photos don't do it. Again, you can't see it with photos. OLEDs with HDR get pretty close. Okay, that's cool. I settled for just an HDR. Yeah. Question: are there any plans to work on characters that are not on the fight select screen? Yes and no. If we can get through the 8 characters that are currently on the select screen in Pocket Fighter EX, then I would happily entertain the idea of doing more. But I don't know what they are, and I'm forcing myself not to decide what they are, because I don't know if I open my big fat mouth now and I tell you, oh, we're absolutely gonna have and who's those? Yeah, we're gonna have El Fuerte. We're absolutely gonna have El Fuerte if I could play EX. And then I turn around and say, you know what? That was a really dumb decision. I really shouldn't put El Fuerte in Pocket Fighter EX. I don't like El Fuerte anymore. Or I've thought of a better character that fits in. And now I'm like, oh, sorry, we're not gonna put El Fuerte in Pocket Fighter EX anymore. And all the El Fuerte fans are gonna come out and they'll be like, hey, he said it was gonna be El Fuerte, gonna be in the game. He lied! He's a big fat liar. He lied. El Fuerte's not going to be in the game. He's not doing that anymore. He's a big fat liar. He's a piece of shit. I don't want to get into that situation, because I don't know. I might change my mind. By the time it takes to get through all of these ones, I might say, hey, look, I was going to put in, I don't know. I was going to put in Marco from Metal Slug, but I don't like Marco anymore. I changed my mind. I want to put Leona in or something instead, and then everybody's gonna get mad at me. And now I hate Metal Slug. I'm a big fat liar, and I hate Metal Slug. And you know, and it just L canceled. So I'm not getting myself in that situation. So I'm not even thinking about it. It's just not even thinking about it. There's no use in thinking about it now. Because my opinion might change by the time I get through all this stuff. But I will say, if we do get to a second set of characters, my priorities will probably fall more in line with, we need other characters that have different playstyles. The first 8, you notice there's no grappler. There's only one charge character. Most of them are rushdown or Shoto-esque balance type characters. There's no zoners. Well, yeah, Guile's a zoner. But there's only one, you know what I mean? So I want to start balancing things out in that regard. And so, like, Dan. Oh, yeah, Dan. 100% confirmed Dan's coming to next. No. I don't mind Joe characters. But I also don't want to fill the game with just one type of character. I think you're going to have a certain number of Shotos just to make the Street Fighter fans happy. But I want to stray away from filling the entire game with Shotos, you know what I mean? Does Konami even care for their old games? Only as much as to make them a little side money. Other than that, I really think they do not care. All you have to do is ask yourself, when's the last Castlevania that came out? When's even the last Metal Gear that came out? No, not even counting one that was any good. When was the last one? There's no more Goemon games. There's no more Castlevania games. There's no more... Well, there was a Contra game. Look how shitty the Contra game that came out was. Just ask yourself. When was the last time X franchise came out from Konami? And if it has come out recently, what was the quality level of that game? And pretty much everything is, it hasn't come out in a long time, or it came out recently and it was trash. That tells you everything you need to know. No, they don't give a shit. They don't care. All they care about is that Dawa Dawa Hawa Hawa. And they don't care where it comes from. That Contra game was not just unfinished. It was completely designed with no idea what Contra is. They had no idea what Contra was. You don't come up with a game like that. I don't know what they called it, but that whatever that latest Contra game was, you don't come out with a game like that and call it Contra having not even the first clue what Contra is. It's just blatant. They didn't care, didn't understand. I don't know what it is. Either way, it's crap. Question for someone who wants to get into making fighting games. Is there any resource you recommend to learn from? Not really. There's really nothing out there. What I would say, you need to first understand how to make games in general. And then you can go and basically make any game that you want anyway. You'll be able to figure out one way or another. But I did not find any resources other than the games themselves that helped me make specifically a fighting game. It was just general knowledge about how games and game programming worked, and then just replicating what I saw, just studying. Hey, let's take footage of Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, and I want to see, hey, what happens when when a character hits another one? What does it look like? What do they do? What is it animated like? What happens? You know, and you'll find out, oh, the characters actually freeze, like the time freezes for the characters, and the animation stops, and the one getting hit actually shakes a little bit. And there's different timings for these things depending on what moves hit. and different knockback values, you know, things like that, and you just study the game. Take the game that you most closely want yours to feel like and see what it's like. Actually, like, dig deep. Take footage, slow it down, do frame by frame analysis, check out what it looks like, check out what they do. That's all I did. There's no real, I mean, now who knows? The indie fighting game scene rather has grown substantially in the last 3-4 years. And maybe there are more things out there now, but I certainly didn't run into them back when I did my initial start of the game. I would say the one thing that helped me a lot with understanding frame data and a little bit about hitboxes, somebody ripped and analyzed Third Strike. Let me get that. Let me give you that link, because that one helped me. It's not specifically about how to make fighting games, but it's a deep analysis of how Third Strike does its hitboxes. Okay, it's here. I'm gonna copy this and link in chat and keep this on you. So if we go to Ryu, this website lets you look at the frame data and hitboxes for everything. It tells you, you've got even a chart. Start up 3 frames. The hit, this means how many frames the hit is active. The recovery, block advantage, hit advantage. It's got everything. So if we go to jab, it pops up a window. Oh, look at this. You can step through frame by frame, and you can see, you can see all the boxes. They're all colored. You can turn them on and off if you want. You can turn them off if you just want to see the animation. Turn them all on if you want, or only see the ones that you want. And you can step through it, and you can see the animation. This was a huge valuable resource because I could kind of see, hey, I could get in the designer's mind and be like, hey, what were they thinking? I want to see the hitboxes. I want to see how they designed the moves. What was their idea? You know, why is the hitbox this? You guys ask yourself questions like, why is the hitbox this shape and size? Why is this a different kind of hitbox here? What purpose does that serve? What purpose does this green one serve? And this purple one too, which is usually off. The purple one, I can actually tell you what that is. The purple one is actually the push box. So if you move into another fighter's purple box, you get pushed away from each other. Like things like that. So that's what I would do. I would study footage of the game, and then if you have any kind of resources like this, these are super helpful. And even if you're not making a Street Fighter clone, this is still really helpful. You can like, oh yeah, you can figure it out. Oh yeah, the blue, that's your hurt box. If you get hit if the blue box touches the red box, then you got hit. And then you can see like the recovery. You can see what it looks like. You can go frame by frame. This was a huge help. I mean, I could have eventually figured out this kind of stuff just by playing around with it, but it accelerates that learning substantially. So, yeah, I would say that's the biggest resource I had, especially when thinking about gameplay design and about how to translate the characters into the combat system that I've created. Yeah, it's and they got it for all characters too. You can pick any one of them. Got Chun. All Chun's moves are here. Specials. Yeah, this is their lightning kick, right? Yeah. So you can see exactly how it's built. Wow, they only last for 1 frame. That's funny. But yeah, they're lightning legs, right? They're just really fast. Yeah, so the hits happen with 1 frame in between. Yeah, that seems about right. Well, I wonder what a super looks like. This super art. Oh, do I gotta... Oh, you don't have it? Oh no, it's up here. I'm pretty sure this is the famous one, right? Let's go, Justin! Yeah, there it is. That's the one. I like that it shows you the after image too. It even gives you the screen. Wow, the lightning actually happens after. That's interesting. Yeah, it hits you. And whoa. That's neat. So you see things like this where it's like, oh, like why is there a big hitbox first and then it turns into the little one? It's very simple actually. I can explain that. Look at the motion of the leg without the hitbox. Look how it goes. Especially from here to here, and that's your clue. Now look with the hitbox on. It's because it covers the area from this frame to the next. The foot moved through this path, and therefore it needs to hit in this path. But only for one frame, because by the next frame, the foot's already settled in place. And it wouldn't make sense to still be hitting here, because the foot was no longer there. You gotta think between this frame and this frame, the foot occupied this space. But in the next frame, it no longer occupied that space since the last frame, because it's already settled. And then a few frames later, it's gone, and that's it. There you go, little tip. Always do your hurt or your hitboxes, taking into account the trajectory of that limb from the last frame. I don't know much about Smash hitboxes. I know they usually use circles, or orbs, I guess. I don't know much about the design of those games. They're very different than traditional fighters. That's cool. Some browsers don't like this website, by the way. Like Chrome doesn't seem to like it. Firefox seems to be alright with it, last that I checked. Oh, you can also... Geez, you can also see, like, all the data values here. All the data values for every frame. Like, when I say deep dive, like, dude, they went super deep. Oh, go back. It just tells you all the data. Now, I can't tell you exactly what all these things are. And these are probably all reverse engineered descriptions. I highly doubt that they're the actual code names. Because assuming we don't have the source code for this game available. Yeah, see like this MAME stuff? So this must have been a reverse engineered memory dump through MAME to figure out all the stuff. Player 1's color, position, real damage and next hit, real stun. Yeah, I don't know. You could spend hours looking at this stuff trying to figure out what exactly is going on. But yeah, this is the best. I've never seen any breakdown of a game quite like this. This is as good as it gets. And this is my Bible. I go back to this anytime I got a question. Hey, how did that one move work? Let's see what them hitboxes look like. This is my go-to. It's kind of hard to find hitbox resources. And yet this one is so substantial. And it tells you how beloved Third Strike is. People want to dig into it so bad they made this website. Like for real. That's some this must have taken forever to compile all this information. It's ridiculous. They even got miscellaneous stuff like startup frames of the jumps. They actually have just like neutral jump. You want to see what the neutral jump looked like? There's neutral jump. It shows you everything. Ridiculous. Anyway, so yeah, that's the Bible. I got that link. I got that link right here. That's the Bible. You go back to it anytime you have a question. And sometimes you don't like the answer, you find. Third Strike, it doesn't do everything that I like. But I think like the presentation, you know, how hits feel, how chunky hits feel, how like the effects of the characters, how they have the hit stop, that pause when they hit something, how the other player shakes, all that. What's the link? Oh, okay. Yeah, let me paste it again for everybody who came in late. There you go. There it is. There's the Bible. It's 6 a.m. where you are? Oh no, it's 11 p.m. here. Well, you're on the other side of the planet. Wait, no, let's see. No, you're in Europe. Yeah, you're in Europe then. You're like 6, 7. You're like Central Eastern Europe? Yeah, so you're like 6 or 7 hours ahead. Depends on daylight savings. The United States is weird. We do this daylight savings thing where we go an hour ahead and an hour behind, and it's weird and dumb, and no one else does it except us. So the time zones get all wacky, but... Oh yeah, okay. Fair enough. Africa. Yeah, right, because you're in that... Yeah, you're on that... was it latitude? No. Longitude? Longitude, right? Yeah, you're in that longitude line. Yeah. Okay, yeah, fair enough. That's cool. I bet it's warm down there. It's cold here now. Anyway, I apologize because we're about to sign off here. We pretty much we got our thing done. Hey, we actually finished the thing we were going to do for once, and we had time for questions. I'm getting better. Getting better at it. Oh no, a bot. How do I ban it? Let's see. Ban. Add the block list. There you go. I don't know if that actually banned him off of Twitch. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'm getting tired anyway. It's almost midnight, so I gotta go. We'll be back. Where's the schedule? We'll be back on Thursday. We're doing Retro Mansion game, and that's basically an old school NES pixel art platforming exploration kind of sort of Castlevania thingy. Oh, that's fine. She's getting up at 6 a.m. to watch this stream, man. Wait, did I delete the wrong one? No, I deleted the right one. I killed the bot. I killed the bot's message. Or I should have killed the bot's message. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, no problem. Thanks you guys for hanging out. So yeah, Thursday we'll be doing the platforming game. I'm gonna probably do a run animation. I've been itching to animate a run animation and actually like make it good. So we'll probably do that one. And then Sunday, I don't know what we're playing Sunday. Sunday's gameplay day and something. So last time we played King of Fighters 2002, the rollback edition. It was really good. It was super good. So you can check the VOD for that. And that's pretty much it. So if you enjoyed this stream, we are patron funded. If you enjoy anything I do, I guess. Patreon. There you go. There's a Patreon link. I got names to read out. Actually, it's February now. I haven't updated the list, so I apologize. I'm gonna read off January's list, but tomorrow or Thursday I'll have the updated list. So everybody gets one last day's of shout-outs if you were in on January. So super special thanks to Alex Smith, Miguel A. Tabasco. Also thanks to Variant X, Mega Keo, Wakened Emperor, Angel Rui Luis, Uncle Roy, Mike Cruz, Taryn Williams, Corporal Chungus, Bryce Snagglingam, AJ Miles Griffin, Ben K, Do Money 107, and LD Walker. Thank you guys very much. As Patreon rewards, you can get things like early builds, the prototype builds of what we're working on, including this project. So I'll be uploading that in a couple days, so then you can try out the new clashing animations for yourself. And there's other little perks on there and such. So if you feel like supporting what I do, then go check it out. And that's pretty much it. So we got Discord, and that link's down below if you want to yell at me throughout the week when I'm not here. And that's pretty much it. So I'm going. I gotta go pick up a little extra dinner to pep myself up, and I got some stuff to do, and then I gotta go to bed. So I'll see you guys later. Thanks everybody for hanging out. It was real fun, and scrub out.